Welcome to Compliance Clips, your transportation insight hub. I'm Rick Morgan. Please join me and my co-host, the effervescent John Farquhar, as we share our expertise and that of our guests to help you navigate the road towards improved safety, compliance, and profitability. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us and welcome back for part 2 of Rick and John talk about crash management, those first 60 minutes, how to make sure that you don't drop the ball and end up with a multi-million-dollar lawsuit. We're going to pick up exactly where we left off. John and I are going to start by talking about a few best practices you can introduce, and then we're going to get right back into some common mistakes we see. Less than 15 minutes of really valuable knowledge on crash management coming up. Thanks very much for joining us. Be sure to hit that subscribe button so you can never miss a show.
I want to go back a couple of steps when you'd said,
Okay.
That checklist.
Yep.
100%. Unfortunately, I see too many who don't have that structured program, those checklists. One of the things, and again, depending on the size of your organization and how many people you have in safety roles or any role for that matter, I see a lack of overlap. A lack of redundancies that we should have when it comes to a crash has happened. How do I deal with it? And the safety guy is away on holidays and doesn't have his phone with him. So we should have multiple people. And let's just use an example as a small fleet, maybe 20 power units. You got one safety guy who does everything, right? However, we should have a dispatch, maybe somebody that's regularly in the office on a regular basis, the owner maybe even involved, or general manager involved in that group to say, in the event of a crash, here's what we're going to do. And the protocol is this person deals with it first and then disseminates it down the list. But if that person's not here, who on that list steps into that role? And that needs to be dictated and provided so that you have seamless transition. You have zero issues when the phone rings and everybody knows, okay, Rick's on vacation, John's going to step in, and if John can't do it, he's going to reach out to Bob. So we know we have a chain of command that's going to be done. Sadly, back to things not to do, I see people who have that protocol in place and fail to follow it. And now the communication falls right apart because somebody didn't pay attention to what they should have done. And even when it comes to usually dispatch, getting that first call, that first notification, we've had a crash, they need to know what that list is and who should they be contacting, because they should be going, oh, Rick's on vacation this week. Okay, goes to John. Perfect. Call John, get him on it, and make it happen. So...
And I think, one of the most common reasons for that is, and I mean, you've responded to accidents as a carrier. I responded to accident. Everyone who's responded to an accident goes into the instant state of shock for those first few seconds. You're just like, oh, poop, what do I do now? You need everybody. I don't care how experienced you are. Everybody needs that checklist to go to and access. And one of the things that I struggled with through my career was, okay, I created these and I made them available, but when they needed them, they didn't know where to go to find them. They would forget.
Exactly.
So you really need like a web page, or a page on your TMS, or a page through your Google site, whatever it is you use, that people go to all the time as a kind of hub. So it's a directory for every document you have and every folder you access all the time, and you've got links in there. And one of them is crash response. You click on it and it takes you and it says, step 1, is the driver okay? Step 2, secure the scene. Step 3, get the details. Step 4, reach out to your insurance company and or lawyer, as the case may be. And it goes on from there. And that has to be automatic. Because if it's 4 o'clock in the morning and you're groggy and you had friends over last night and you were doing the poker game or having the big supper and you're not 100% on your game, you've got to have something that's going to take you through that and make you not miss a step.
Right. So one of the things that we see our clients always wanting to do is they want to be prepared for a mock audit, an MTO audit, a DOT audit, right? And what do? They hire somebody to come in, have a review of all their documents and whatnot. Well, how about being prepared for a crash? I don't need to hire a consultant for this. What I need to do is have a mock crash, have somebody do a call in, fake a crash, and put us through the process. And I've had numerous companies who do very well at this. That's what they've done. Mock crash reviews. And literally 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, your people are going to wake up and you're going to deal with it. And your people do not know if this is real or not. But what it does is it does exactly what you're looking for, to be prepared, where to go for the next steps. How do I get that information? It's no different than taking a driver and teaching the driver how to operate a piece of equipment and getting him to do it over and over and over and practice it and add more training to heighten the awareness, improve his touch points. The same goes with anybody that's in the office that needs to deal with a crash. Let's practice this process and learn from what we're not getting as we practice it, to go, okay, let's heighten this a little bit more. Let's add this to it. Let's tweak this. Maybe our process isn't complete, and now's where we can find out how to complete it more.
There's a really interesting, as you're talking about this, there's a really interesting story that I think everyone who's watching this may remember, where a couple of years ago, a plane landed in Japan and it caught fire on as it landed.
Yes, I remember that.
And they managed to get all the people out in 90 seconds.
Yep.
Okay, that was a Japan Airlines flight. I was reading into that because as a part of what I'm looking at, I'm going, what an excellent response to an incredible situation, right?
Sure.
Well, it turns out that about 10 years ago, they had the same thing happen, except for people didn't get out.
Right.
I believe something like 75% of the people who were on the plane, including the crew members, died. Right. They burned to death.
Right.
And what Japan Airlines did as a result of that is it became part of their annual training for every single crew member, that they would go through that practice. Yep. So when this incident arose, it was muscle memory.
Yep.
They didn't have to think about anything.
Right.
They clicked into automatically what they had to do.
Sure.
Right? And, to draw a kind of analogy and skirting it here, I'm sure that when you were a kid and I was a kid, we used to have parking lots with rear-wheel drive cars at this time of year. And we would teach ourselves how to control slides. I'm not saying we were doing anything necessarily approved. But you know what? When you were driving down the road and you were on a 2-lane road and you did lose control of the rear end, you actually you didn't have to think how to respond to get the vehicle back in. Your body automatically did it for you, because that's muscle memory. So as a kind of humorous sideways, the importance of doing that, and this takes us back. I'm going to be a shameless promotion here to when we did the Impact series.
Yes.
And for those of you in our audience who are not aware of the Impact series, we recreated a fatal, a nasty fatal in a really difficult place in the middle of the night, and all the things that it took to respond. And you and I think we invested about 100 hours or more in creating that plan. Easily. And it was like a 6 or 9 hour. It was almost 10 hours by the time we were done presenting everyone through that and walking through it. And we, at least one of our audience members subsequently experienced a fatal, and said to us that going through that helped them create what the resources and the tools that they needed in order to effectively manage it. So, what not to do, which is what we were meant to be talking about.
Let me add one more to what you're talking about. What not to do. When you have turnover in staff, don't leave them out of the equation. Yeah. Bring them in. Get them as part of that muscle memory, right? So we have a new safety manager. I have a new dispatcher. I have a new this. I have a new that. Doesn't matter. Part of their orientation is, hey, this is what we do. You need to be in the know. Here's where you'll find it. And by the way, within the next 3 months, we're going to be doing a mock trial of it. So get ready.
Yep. So one of the things that I see really frequently that I don't think anyone thinks of nearly often enough, because we're so focused on our role in the company representative, is that was a person driving that vehicle. And that person has family. And we need to have, I think one of the most critical things is every safety manager needs to make sure that they understand you're talking to a person who's a part of your team and has families sitting at home that has no idea. And you absolutely have to have someone available to reach out and support that individual as soon as possible.
Big time.
All right. Well, I think we were originally going to spend 15 minutes on this, but
we
It's a two-parter.
I don't know what it is. I don't talk a lot normally, but when I get
No?
around you, we just get a lot of information flowing. Yeah.
No one really believes that who knows you.
Well, we can try. My wife says
try.
I'm very trying.
Yes. I think she's not alone in that one. But anyway,
awesome.
Great chat. If anyone out there in the audience, look, if you got any questions about this, you want to know about how to respond, you want to know what not to do, or you heard, hey, you know what he said, yeah, we got that here.
Yep.
Feel free to give me or John a call.
Yep.
Even though John is on the dark side now and he's corporate and he actually wears like collared shirts for all of our calls anymore, he'll still help you out. He still can put you into the right place. Doesn't matter where you are across the country. We can help you out. So yeah, reach out.
And we've got lots of tools that we're willing to share. You've
Absolutely.
posted a lot of stuff online free. I've had it on my website for a long time, and it's like, you know what? You don't have to fight this on your own. Ask for help. We're more than willing, because it's going to just make the world a better place for everybody. And hey, all our families are driving up and down the road, so we want everybody to be safe.
That's right. No more. Well, we won't say the names, but let's see what we can do to reduce the crashes, because where we are right now is unacceptable.
Agreed.
And like every single safety manager out there, you've got to be getting in front of your team every week and saying, guys, this has got to stop. This has got to stop.
You can't manage what you don't measure.
Monitor. Yep, exactly.
Cool.
All right. So on that note, till next time.
Perfect.
Stay safe, be smart, make money. Hey, thanks for tuning in. We hope you found today's materials to be useful and you can put them to work. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you never miss an episode. And if you've got questions from today's material, or maybe you're just looking to improve your safety and compliance game, please feel free to reach out to either me or John. And remember, you can't manage what you don't monitor. The key to compliant profitability is just one phone call away. So until next time, put the phone down while you drive and keep your eyes on the prize.